Hello, everybody. Reggie Time here, and it's been a little while. Very briefly, going to explain that very briefly, and then maybe a bit more at the end. So not to close at the start of the video. I've been playing mostly GG anti games for the for this month. The hands don't make for very interesting reviews because it's just an awful lot of nittery going on. Well, from me at least, anyway. And I've been working some extra hours. Had a few medical appointments. So basically, I haven't really had time to make videos. We'll have a look at the results at the end of the month, but these hands are from a session I played yesterday on the iPoker 50NL streets. And we're going to be looking at all hands where I made an EV loss according to GTO Wizard. So without further ado, let's get stuck in. We have a reg opening button here. We have the ace 9 off. Pretty sure we're just going to call this most of the time. Maybe 3 bets at some shitty frequency. I don't know. But I'm unlikely to 3 bet this. I think people don't defend too wide versus 3 bets. We don't have as much fold equity as maybe we'd like to have. I mean, I don't think this hand will 3 bet anyway. But generally speaking, I don't do as much like 3 betting as Steely would want me to, because I think people just call too often against it, and then we have a problem. Realize our equity out of position with probably some relatively marginal hands. Anyways, we do call. We flop nothing. Check. Bill and bets. 10, 10, 5. I guess we're just going to call here. If it was lower trips, maybe I'd think about raising. We do call. Turn 10. Check. Bill and checks back. River king. Don't think we get to lead this king. I remember this hand. I think we're going to check raise the river. And my reason for doing so was, I think when villain checks back turn and bets the river, it's literally only repping a king. He might also just like try and thin value bet some hands that are beating us but can't really handle the raise. This was my logic anyway. Maybe sometimes he like bluff with ace X, and we just get to bluff him off that, even though that would be a chop nearly all the time. Just bluff him off chops. So yeah, I think I was going to go for a check raise dependent on his sizing. We check, and he now goes 2/3 pot, which is a bit on the larger side in terms of like him value betting like really thinly. Maybe I'm talking out my ass. I don't know, but I'd expect some of the thinner value, like pocket eights here, pocket sevens, etc. Maybe they'd bet this to get called by hands like ace high, but maybe they wouldn't bet this big. So maybe we shouldn't now check raise, because now he's kind of saying I've hit a king. Maybe I mean, what could you check back on the turn? Probably not much. I don't know. But I decided versus this broken aggression line of bet, check, bet, when I think most of his like big pairs just want to continue betting the turn, why would they check back? Like, why would jacks, queens, pocket kings, pocket aces, why would they check back the turn? So I think he's gonna have a lot of like middle pairs here. Maybe some stuff would beat. Maybe we could just get to call here and just beat queen jack, for example. Um, who knows? But anyways, I elected to go for raise, and I'm guessing this is what the solver doesn't like, but I could be wrong, and he did fold. So let's see what Mr. Wizard didn't like. Yeah, river. Everything's fine till the river, so we can skip through. And on the river, it's mixing between fold and call. Doesn't like bluff raise. I mean, call apparently loses money, sorry. So I'm not really sure why it's wanting to call when it's losing money. And what the fuck, I don't understand these things really well. But I think raise outperforms call here against humans. I genuinely think that. I think like they will under defend versus raise here. We might just get him to bet 4 pocket sixes here, for example. I mean, he's probably never meant to be betting that. What is a theoretical betting range meant to look like here on the river from Villain's perspective? on the river, when we check, they bet that, for example, that betting range is meant to contain pocket fives, pocket sixes, 7-6. Who knows? But like, what's the value hands? Quads and full houses not getting to fold. Ace high. So it's not really. I mean, here, well, it's been pocket sixes in there, but it's not in here. I don't fucking know. I don't get too far into it. But basically, I think we can get things like this to fold, ace five to fold, quite comfortably. There's going to be a lot of shit in here that we just beat, and that's why it prefers call versus raise. But I think a lot of this stuff just doesn't fucking exist in that humans ranges here. All these little small little bits and pieces. I'm not sure how much they exist. So then if we just start getting like ace five to fold, pocket sixes to fold, 6-5 to fold, 7-5 to fold, pocket sevens to fold, then all of a sudden I think raise outperforms call. And I think these hands will fold at a very high frequency versus check raise. So I don't hate my call here. It's only a small EV loss. So so I don't hate my raise. So it's only a small EV loss. Well, it's half a blind, so I guess it's not that small in a pot this size. But I don't hate it. I'm fine with that one. You might not be, but I am. And this isn't me always going to be scotching on poo-pooing GTO. It's not going to be like, oh, well, I know better. But I think a lot of the hands that are betting that we get to win against by calling aren't betting. So I don't think call's a good option. But I do think that villain is not super strong in the bet check bet line there. Next hand, we have the A7 off. This guy only opens 32% of buttons, so I'll be very surprised if I 3-bet. We don't. Similar to last time, only this time there's trips on board that are lower, so we can maybe have more of them. Check, check. Turn 3. Do I want to start probing here? Probably not. I think our hand's just too strong to probe. The villain can just have worse hands here that just don't bluff very often. He's got a very low C bet. You can just have like Queen Jack that just can't be asked to bluff. King High can't be asked to bluff. You know, I do know all kinds of rubbish that just can't be bothered to bluff. So I don't think we need to probe, but I think probing is probably going to be okay too. We do end up probing. And villain just folds. Okay, so none of these pots are going to be huge, by the way, I don't think. So this is the A7, and it didn't like the turn probe. Pre-flop, it probably wants 3-bet, I guess. Yeah, it does. Flop, check, check, fine. Turn, it just wants to check pure again. And I think that's probably reasonable. No issue with this. No issue with this at all. We've lost EV, and I mean, it's saying it like it, but the EV difference, but that's if we're doing it 0.3%. I'm doing this at a far higher percentage than 0.3%. Again, it's not a huge mistake. Again, not something you're going to lose. A big bunch of sleepover. 10 Jack, we open, get called by a whale on the button. Flop air on the flop. This guy does have a 90% fold to see, but I didn't notice that in game. Fold to flop bet. Had I noticed that, I would have just stabbed here with my like backdoor broadways, backdoor diamonds. I think I'm unlikely to stab. I don't do a lot of c betting out of position in general, and I do even less out of position with pretty airy hands against people who I think are really quite bad. In like a loose way. We do check. Villain checks back. We turn a diamond. I guess I'm going to bet now. And we do. I don't think we need to bet this size. I think we can just bet smaller. After checking flop. I mean, I can get to bet a bit bigger here because, or I think I can, because I'm doing a lot more range checking on flop. So I still have some very strong hands in my. I have more strong hands in range for getting here than maybe lots of people do. But I still don't think we need to use this size. Call. And then we just have to bluff the river. Guess. And we're not just going to show down 10 high. We do bluff river and villain folds. And here, what isn't it like? It's not like in river again. So we've got 2 ticks on the flop. Checking 70%, 71%. Turn, it's wanting the smaller bet, so yeah, I'm not surprised by that. That's not surprised it doesn't like my size very much. And then river, again, it's just a sizing issue. I mean, it's still wanting checks the primary play, just giving up. Yeah, so we've lost again a tiny amount, like barely anything worth mentioning, but these things matter. The reason I'm doing this is to try and just like see if any common themes start occurring, like in terms of where I'm losing EV. If I'm routinely like choosing wrong probe sizes or like betting rivers or turns or whatever at incorrect frequencies all the time, then it's something I can learn, something I can take on board. And this is just like the MDA in me. This wasn't happening that long ago for me. This would have been check, probe, turn, give up river. But because we know players of all profiles overfold rivers, I'm just trying to find more bluffs. This was one of them. It worked this time. Apparently, it loses EV at equilibrium, but I think it probably does okay versus population. Next hand, ace 6 off. We open button. We get called from the small blind and we get a fold. We flop nothing. This isn't a board I'm going to see bet very often. I don't like setting off just completely airballing on boards where like straights are already possible. There's a plethora of 2 pairs. Yeah, fine, he's flatted the small blind, but he's a fish. So he can absolutely have 9-9, 10-10, maybe Jack-Jack. He's got a 1% 3-bet. So he has all sets in range. He has King-Queen in range. He has probably all 2 pairs in range. We do too, of course. We have all of those hands as well. We also have over pairs that he maybe doesn't have, but fucking a 1% 3-bet. Maybe he does. Yeah, I'm just going to want to probably start doing some more delay c-betting here rather than starting betting this flop. We check back, turn check. When he checks a second time, I think we can start ruling sets and straights out of his range, 2 pairs. He's going to be in mostly 1 pair territory, maybe just some 8x or queen x that doesn't want to bet and get raised, etc. I think we can definitely start bluffing here now. I didn't though. Okay. River king, check. So does he ever have a straight here? Seems very unlikely. 2 pairs, king 9, maybe. But I think after it goes check, 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 2 pairs lead, even though there's a 4 line out there sometimes. Can we show down our ace high? Feel like it to me. We're just going to lose to pocket 5s, pocket 4s, pocket 3s, etc. Then we can just make fold. I think probably more EV in betting here than checking, and just don't want to lose to like ace deuce or pocket 4s, something like that. Crikey. I'm telling the story. I've got a straight there, right? Now, God knows what straight I'm telling them I've got. Ace, queen, maybe. I don't think we need to bet this size to like fold out pocket 3s. I think this is overkill. This is me thinking, oh, I'm bluffing. I wouldn't bluff here without I wouldn't like bet here without a straight. Having played the hand this way, so like probably straights, maybe some 2 pairs like king 9. But basically, because I'm not going to be betting this super thin for value, I just like, right, okay, well, just go big reg. He folded. And this is a blunder. The river, big blunder. It likes everything else. River's a big blunder. Big blunder. How much are we losing on the river? Not much. It's just like pure checking. But again, if you're doing this at 0%, I'd be doing this a lot. I don't know. I don't really know like how to, separate because this is everything at equilibrium, isn't it? And none of us are. So it's hard to say that. Oh well, we only lost tiny amount of EB because maybe we're losing way more in theory, in practice. Sorry, or maybe we're just making more. Maybe we're just making more. Let's see what he's meant to get to the river with there. That then checks again. So on the river, small blind checks. And his checking range is... How many of these hands beat us? Loads of them beat us. All these hands beat us. Apart from these. Oh, sorry, the A6 booking. The A6 chops. I think we chop with all the aces, do we? Yeah. When we overbet, which it's not doing, but when we do, what's he then calling with? So what's he folding to begin with? Ace 10, ace 9. We basically don't lose to them. He's folding pocket 8s, pocket 7s, pocket 6s, pocket 5s. So what's he calling with? Calling with all of these, which I think he lets us know about at some point. Like in the fish population, like these hands are sometimes going to probe turn. These hands are sometimes going to probe turn, etc. I don't hate my line here. Again, this isn't me trying to poo-poo theory, but I think I'm okay with my bluff here. Oh, heads up pot. This probably isn't going to end well for me. Min raise, call, check, check. The king's not a good card for us. I mean, the flops, when it goes check, check, it's a really good situation for us. We can start thinking about betting and like barreling rivers with a lot of cards. Do we get to lead on the king though? Does this like swing range advantage back to our villain here? Maybe not, because we still have 5-3 suited. We still have probably pocket 6s, pocket 4s, pocket deuces, 6-4 suited. Maybe not. Maybe we still. Maybe like he's not a huge equity favourite here. I did lead, and villain just folded. So what have I done wrong there? Pre-flop. Hang on. The pocket 3s. Okay, I've missed one. Where's the 7-5 at? Here we are. Turn. Doesn't like the turn lead. I don't know why them pocket 3s have gone. Apologies. We're not going to get to do that one. So pre-flop, it's just it's mixing call and raise. I'm not going to find this in real life. It's not difficult to find now. I know it's there, but that the gapped ones, we're much more inclined to 3-bet 7-6 suited 7-5-6. Maybe they're 3-bet too. I don't have a clue about heads up, and it's not something I'm going to look into, to be honest with you. Check flop. It wants turn probes, just didn't want my size. That's fine. So we got it right. We can probe the turn. It's basically probing turns 73% of the time. Excuse me. So we got that right, and it's just a sizing error, and I'm not really that bothered about sizing errors, to be honest. 10 jack, open, call. Check. I'm probably going to be checking second pair back here. No reason to reopen the betting. Turn queen. Check. Still checking. River 10. Check. bet. It won't like this because it'll be worried that it's going to get caught by too many flushes, I imagine, which is why it doesn't like overbet. I don't think flushes exist very much in villain's range here. I think flush draws probe turn sometimes. I think flush draws definitely bet river after seeing 2 checks. So if made flushes at more often than not, significantly more often than not. Don't think villain has full houses hardly ever, because I think anything that makes a full house in this river probes a turn 2. So yeah, it's going to be telling me off from a sizing. And let's see how often Solver's checking flushes on the river versus how often I think humans are checking flushes on the river. Yeah, it's a river blunder. Inaccuracy, whatever the fucking red circle means. So it's fine all the way through, no need to look at anything like that. And then river, it wants bets, but it only wants 2/3 pot basically, or 3/4 pot, or small. It doesn't want this. So how often is villain meant to have flushes here in theory on the river? Big blind river. How many flushes does he have? Let's check. Oh, press the wrong button. So flushes that he checks. Ace queen of diamonds. Probably 3 bets pre. Close to pure, I'd imagine. I know it doesn't here, but maybe it does. Yeah, Queen Jack suited doesn't check the river, in my opinion. Queen 7, Queen 6, Queen 5, Queen 9. And how often is it leading flushes on the river? So what would its bet be? Its most likely bet would be this size. And how many flushes are in there? Yeah, see, it's doing a lot of leading with its flushes. It's going to be a balance between checking and betting its flushes. I don't think humans are. I think humans are going to be very unbalanced here to like just not checking flushes anywhere near as often as this is doing it. Again, it's not me scotching theory. It's me just comparing theory to what I think people do, and I don't think people check flushes enough of the time for me to not want to go for like this kind of value bet. Maybe we get called here by King X that went for checkers on the floor. I don't know. Maybe we get called by Queen X. Maybe we just get bluff caught here really quite wide because from Villain's perspective, we would have bet sets on the flop. We would have bet 2 pairs and things. Anything that's a full house in the river, we would have bet before now. He would probably imagine that we're going to bet flush draws quite often on the flop or on the turn. So when we bet this river, kind of not repping very much. Given how we play the rest of the time, maybe he just bluff catches really fucking wide. Who knows? Here's 6 of diamonds. Open, called by an absolute whale. Check. Going to be one of my worst aces here. Or certainly in the bottom third of my worst aces. A bottom quarter, bottom whatever, bottom half. Turn 8, check again. I check again. River 7, check. Reg. Yeah, I know what's happening. Maybe it wants bets earlier, but we missed a value bet on the river. And I don't know why I missed this. This will be me being distracted because this is just such an easy value bet on the river. So this isn't me deciding. I haven't decided to check this hand back. It's me not concentrating. We'll still look at it. But yeah, this is. I haven't. If I will have consciously decided to check back flop and turn, but I would not have consciously decided to check back river. It's actually wanting us to bet this flop. I get that we have like a massive range advantage here, even more so against a whale, I guess. I'm not going to argue with the sub on this one. If it says it's a bet, and it's just a bet. As played, turn check, and river, yeah, it's mandatory bet. It would have gone that size out, probably would have gone that size too. And let myself off with that one in terms of like, I made a mistake, but not a conscious mistake. And if I'm just making like a shitty mistake because I'm not concentrating, I can live with that rather than if I'd have thought, oh, probably should check this back, I'm not going to get caught by word, then it's a mistake. Then it's like, Reg, what are you fucking doing? But that wasn't the situation here. 10-8 suited. Open from small blind. Is a regular. I don't know if this 3 bets or not, but I probably won't be doing that. Flop. He leads out 1/3 pot. This guy, it doesn't show here. He's only got 51% C bet, but blind versus blind. I don't know. I can't be certain, but I've observed him just doing this way too often. Oh, excuse me, just probing. So you C bet 1/3 any board. He's just, in my opinion, he's a lazy C bet out of position this board. He does it too often. So I'm going to probably, don't know if we can raise this board. Well, I'm certainly going to call and then just try and find spots on later streets to try and like win the pot. Who knows? Maybe we're back into something nice now and again. But this is just me like pure floating because then this guy is overdoing his range betting. Sorry, not overdoing his range bet. Overdoing this. It's like 1/3 pot C bet. Maybe this board's probably a reasonable board to do it on, but he does it on every board just about. We do call turn queen. He checks. Because he's betting everything on the flop nearly, he can still have plenty of Queen X, but I suspect he probably just keeps betting Queen X. Maybe he starts checking some King X. He's going to check back. He's going to check his air a decent frequency, I imagine, and A size, etc. I like to check back. Okay. River Queen, he checks. And now we've got 10 high, and I'm just going to bluff everything here. But I'm going to get here with too many bluffs. This hand has to bluff. But if this guy just calls me with pocket twos, ace high, etc., you can't blame him. I don't like this. I don't like waiting for this. I guess I might check back some King X sometimes. But we just don't get here with very much value. And then this is me way, way, way overdoing it. Massively overdoing it. This is fucking bullshit. This is absolute bullshit. Jesus wept. I mean, he folded, but fuck me, that's bullshit. That's not good. What on earth am I trying to rep on that fucking river? Jesus Christ. It's only inaccuracy, though. It's not a total blunder. It's not a full-scale blunder. It should not warn you over bet. Obviously, it's a mandatory bluff spot. We just chose the wrong size. Okay. This is my tag for either aggro fish or, but yeah, basically it's aggro fish. Might sometimes be an aggro reg, but usually just an aggro fish. We 3 bet, they call, king eye flop, check. Probably just going to bet really small here. Could do some checking back, I suppose. But this guy's like really passive on turns from what little sample size I've got. I don't really want to check back and start calling turn probes. Maybe we can just check back and just bet twice for value. We bet the flop quarter pot. This will be my standard line. He calls. Turn 5. Check. I think I still want to carry on betting here for value. Can't go too big. I still think I want to bet here for value. Call. River 7. Check. And is it now getting too thin for value? I want to go small again. Maybe that's not a thing in theory though. But I'd really want to go small again here. Just like fucking quarter pot, 1/3 pot, like, I don't know, 13 to 18 bigs. We went small again and he folded. Maybe that's too thin. Maybe that's just too thin. Although I don't feel like it would be too thin. Oh, it's a blunder. The river's a blunder. So it's on board with what we've done so far. Not all 2 ticks, but on board. Yeah, it's just wanting to pure check back. I'm not going to argue with that. I'm not going to argue. It really stinks when we get check raised. I think it's hard for us to ever like, well, not probably not, because maybe they have some traps. But anyone we bet small twice in position, I think flushes at some point want to raise sets. Maybe not. Maybe they don't want to raise. Well, the only really set of sixes, maybe like pocket five to the club. I don't know. Ace king. Check. Pretty sure I'm going to check this board back. Turn probe half pot. Do we know how often this guy's probing turns? 45%. Can't fold. Can consider raising, but I think that'd be a massive punt. River 6. And just fold here, I guess. Well, we're going to get told off for this in theory. In theory world, I think that's fine personally what we did there, but let's see what River is wanting us to call. I presume. Yeah, almost pure call with a little bit of raise. Just jam. Just fuck you, mate. I'm all in. 500% pot. What are you gonna fucking do about it? I think this call's losing versus population here. I just think it's losing. Not losing a lot, maybe, but there's so many hands he can have. Yeah, I'm not buying this one. I'm not buying it. I think this call. I mean, we don't need a lot of equity to call. That's the issue. What do we need here? Like 25% equity? You think this guy's bluffing 25% of the time for this size? Maybe. It's close, I think. Maybe I'll stand by my fold, but we got told off for it. Ace king again. Open call. Basically anything from like 7-6 is at least a gut shot here. Anything upwards from 7-6 is at least a gut shot, all the way through to king queen. So there's tons and tons of straight draws here that we can get value from. To be fair, with our ace king, I'm going to check this back, I guess. Turn 10, check. Do we need to bluff with this hand? Do we have showdown value? And what better hands are folding? Deuces through fours, maybe sixes. Pocket sevens isn't probably. Don't know. Check back. River deuce. He bets one big blind. We just call. We lose to pocket eights. And where did we do? Where did we go wrong there? River. Everything's 2 ticks to the river. Good stuff. And river, it's wanting me to fold. Again, I'm not arguing with the theory here. Not fuck folding for one big blind, basically. Open, call, check. Should bet this against a fish. We do. Call. Turn 8 of clubs. Probably checking back and then just calling rivers. And now value betting the river. Villain raises and we fold. Try to think. Is it wanting me to call that river? I'd be surprised. Does it want me to check back the river? Maybe. Maybe it's just what. Maybe it just wants us to bet smaller. Maybe this is too big when we don't have a flush or 2 pairs. Maybe just bet smaller. Maybe. Who knows? Well, it's definitely a river fuck up. And flop, he didn't like our size. He did like, well, he didn't like our size. He wanted checking back 73% of the time. Fuck checking this back 73% of the time versus a whale. We bet he calls turn. It's happy with check. River, it's just wanting to pure check this back. But again, it's not playing against someone playing 71-21. So I'm not taking my bollock in there. This must be a misclick 3-bet. Because this is just not something I do. This is me misclicking. Is it a min? It's not even min though, is it? How have I done this? How have I done this? I don't understand how I could have done this. Because it certainly wasn't done consciously. No idea. Don't remember the hand. But this would not be it. No way I'd just choose that size. Check. Gut shot, backdoor, flush draw. Can get on board with bet or check here. We go with big bet. Or big-ish bet, like 2/3 pot nearly. Villain calls. Turn 7. Check. Probably check because getting raised off a double gut shot would stink. River 10. Check. I think we have to bluff our hand. Get called. And the dude had kings. Right, okay, so we've got another one here that doesn't appear to be there. So whatever, pre-flop. It's just wanting us to fold this hand. But it's not playing against a whale. I mean, I'm definitely 3-betting this hand to ISO this guy. 49-17. I want to isolate him. So I'd fine. It wants us to mostly fold, but again, we're playing against a fish. But it will fuck up the rest of the tree probably. It's wanting us to just bet. See, really wants us to just bet 1/3 on 10-9-3 2-tone. I mean, fine. It's the learning for me. I presume these boards we would be like playing a fair bit of like check or bigger bets, but I'm just wrong. It's basically just well, it's not no. Nah, I don't fucking know. But on this board texture, I didn't think small bet was going to be much of a thing. Turn, check, and then river, check, and it just wants us to give up. Eh, fine. The whole hand's a clusterfuck because we 3-bet to 7 big blinds pre-flop like a fucking idiot. Versus 3x. Okay, calling here with the 5s. Check. Bet quite big. Maybe just fold now, but it's heads up. We have a pair. We have a gut shot, even though the gut shot's to a shit end. Turn. Check. Bet again. Half pot. Do we have to continue on a brick like this? How often do I think this is a bluff? I mean, it's heads up again. I don't fucking know. I'm not going to waste too much time on it because it's heads up and I rarely play heads up. Only when the tables start, and tables fill so quickly that it doesn't fucking matter. And if a table's breaking, I'll only stay against fish. And yeah, would it be better to know a bit more about heads up? Yeah. But can I be asked studying it? No. Flop, is it just putting fold, straight fold on the flop? That's bonkers if it does. Yeah, just fold pure. We got a fucking pair and a gut shot, mate. I am stinker, heads up. I wouldn't fall that if you put a fucking gun to my head. Oh well, never mind. King, queen is suited. Flattened button here, which it won't like, but we have. This guy's got the wrong tag. Two pushing the blinds. And I didn't want to reopen against someone who could just ram it in my fucking face for 50 bigs. So I'm fine with this call, even though I suspect it's going to tell me off. And then obviously we're not folding because we have king queen suited and we need 42%. Oh fucking hell, we need 42%. Anyway, we fucking ran it anyway, and then we won. So fuck you, GTO, is it? Why is this one not here? Where's the king queen? It's not there. Things are getting messed up. Oh, it's another heads up one. Boo. Flop a pair. Check back. He probes turn. It's heads up. I've got a pair. I'm not folding. Oh, I am folding. Shouldn't be folding. We've got a pair. And it's just a piss pot turn probe. I stink heads up. And I also stink with these farts. They're fucking not nice. Just want to range bet the flop. Well, not range bet. Yeah, it is. Pretty much range bet in the flop show bridge. And there's half a blind EV in call, so we're losing half a blind there. Probably. Not going to argue with it. Pocket nines. Checking back. Oh, Reg, why have you bet here? Why are we betting here, Reg? This is a brain fat. I almost never bet in these spots. Fold, I guess, Reg. Oh dear. Oh dear, what an absolute clusterfuck that hand is. Don't bet flop, Reg. Probably don't call river. What's going on here is, well, flop bet, I don't know. But river, I'm just like, well, LOL bluff catcher. Broken line from fucking villain, etc. If he'd bet smaller, I think this call would be fine. But versus basically 2/3 pots, 3/4, so like 70% pot, whatever that is, probably start shifting to fold. Not just in theory, but also in practice. Um, yeah, so flop it's definitely preferring check. I do too. Don't know why I bet there. Brain fat. Turn check. Check. River. Yeah, just fold, Reg. Of course, just fold. And this is against theory. This is against a balanced range. Fold nine's against a balanced range here. This is going to be unbalanced. It's going to be underbluffed. Yeah. I'll take that one on the chin. King 10. Open 3-bet call. Now this I would probably range bet, and I'd probably go on the larger side, like 2/3 pot. Just over half. Whatever. Not going to quibble. Turn ace. Should probably keep on betting, I think. Whether we do in theory or not, I don't know, but in practice, this is just such a good card for us to generate loads of fold equity. Oh, Reg! Reg! Oh, Reg. Fuck off, Reg. Now we go with overbet. What the fuck is going on here, Reg, with these, like, massively overdoing these river overbets with, like, nonsense fucking holdings? I mean, maybe once in a blue moon I check back pocket aces here and then go for the overbet. Definitely have pocket queens. I don't have quads. I don't have pocket fours. I do have. Do I have ace queen? Probably not very often. Just bets a turn. No, so basically I'm ripping aces full and queens full here, and that's it. That I think I can realistically get to this river with. As played. Oh. Oh dear. So what did I actually want on the flop? What bigger bets? Yeah, 75%. That's kind of knew what. I mean, it's gone with half pot there. My buttons aren't set up properly, and I was probably just autopiling it a little bit. I knew this was going to be bigger than half pot, so we just failed to execute. It wasn't a lack of knowledge; it was poor execution. Turn check. It doesn't hate it. Yeah, continue betting. I'll be honest, I would have continued betting for the larger size. Um, yeah. It wants bets, but it just wants 60% pot, which is more than reasonable. More than reasonable. I don't think. I mean, it was just overkill from me, wasn't it? Well, I've got a new toy, and this is. I'm blaming Juicenberg for this because we were chatting the other week about the bot ring that got caught discovered on GG, and like one of the biggest exploits they were doing was just fucking way over bluffing rivers using 150% pot. So I just been like, oh, they were doing that, were they? That must be a good. That must be something fucking good to do. So I'll start doing that. That's literally what's happened there. Open, call, bet, call, check. When we have decent equity here, could definitely keep betting. Yeah, I think we can just keep betting here. 8 bigs, something like that. Ugh. Value bet river now. Pretty clean river as well, I think. We get to rep miss spades. We get to rep like stuff like 8-9 maybe. Norwich. This is me trying to induce, I think. This is me trying to induce. And we just get the fold. Yeah, that's what's going on there. It's me trying to just get whatever, all kinds of random bullshit to just start raising. That's what's going on there. I'm just so confident I've got the best hand there. Just not worried about getting raised and just want to try and induce it. Go pre calling with some 3 betting. Flop, call with some raise. Turn, bet 1/3. I was thinking more along the lines of these two sizes. Still want to do that 40% of the time, so yeah. Don't check back, Reg. Oh, Liberty just wanted 2/3, which I think is a lot more reasonable. Personally, I would have gone on the larger side. If I wasn't trying to induce a raise, then I would have probably been more likely to go somewhere between these two. I wouldn't have landed on just half pot. Ace 10. Check. Bet half pot. Guy's got 100% C bet. 15 from 15. Maybe we can raise against someone with that C bet frequency. I decided just to call. Check. Downsize his turn. I'm not going to start raising it, am I? Oh, yep. And he folds. Which I don't really hate so much against 100% C bet. So he basically gets the turn with 100% of range. And now he's downsizing on a brick. So this is why I've done this. This will be purely because of this sizing. He gets the turn with 100% of his pre-flop range because he C bets 100% of the time, and then he downsizes his turn. So this is why I've done this. This is me just going for a direct exploit. Just going to fold the flop, but again, the guy's C betting 100%, so whatever. Check. Yeah, he's not wanting raise, but again, this guy's like super unbalanced, so don't think we're gonna learn too much from that one in theory. And this is the last hand. King 6, raise, small blind call. I'm going to be checking this back a lot with my top pair crappy kicker. I'll do a lot of checking back with top pair crappy kicker to allow me to reach turn with some top pairs. Do we have a 2-street hand here? Maybe now we can just get 2 streets from like 8x, 10x. It's going to get called by some draws, etc. Call. River jack. Check. I think just check back now. Nah, I think this might be too thin. Oh, we won the pot. Ooh, turn and river both blunders. Maybe he just wants us to check this all the way. Turn. Yeah, it's just waiting close to pure check. And really just check back. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. Maybe it's a bit too thin. Doesn't feel too thin against like a shitty regs and fish who are just going to call Jack X. Queen Jack's not folding. 10x isn't folding. Maybe 8x isn't even folding. People just call too much, don't they? Although we do know in mass data that players do overfold rivers. So maybe if theory is saying it's a pure check back and we know people overfold rivers, then maybe it is too thin. Anyway, that's the end of the hands. I'll quickly show you the graph for the month and chat briefly about my GG experience, and then we'll wrap it up, knock it on the head, whatever. Here's the graph for the month. We got off to an absolute flyer on GG. This is the mix of Russian cash, 6 max, and full ring double stack ante. Then we hit the skids. Then we had a recovery. Then we really hit the skids. So this is like probably my biggest downswing since when would it have been? When was I living in Station Road? 2010, 2009, 2000. It's probably my biggest downswing in 15 years in actual dollar amounts. Now, it wasn't a fully like 1.1k downswing because I did get about $500 in rate back, so it's not as bad as it looks there. The pink line, by the way, is because I'm a cash out fanny, and there we go. Look, 53,000 hands of cashing out, or virtually 53,000 hands, and basically there's no difference. So yeah, I've lost my fucking thread now. I've lost my thread. Yeah, I've lost my fucking plot. So yeah, but can't complain too much. 1,300 euros for the month plus rate back, which is coming in at over 1,000. So financially, it's been a good month. That graph isn't the prettiest. I did tilt withdraw from GG. Basically said to myself, if we drop to this number here, this 1,000, then stop him playing. And I think the problem with not the problem. Let's show you a minute. Do we have the rate figures in here? Yeah. Like, this is the main game I've played. This fifth general anti-game, double stack anti-games. We played 29,000 hands, and we've been raked $1,800. And this is 50 NL. So that's coming out at about whatever, like 13 bigs 100, and then that's not counting for the fucking jackpot drop and stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm getting close to half of that back, but I just don't know. I just don't know if this game's beatable. When the rake comes out with the bad big jackpot, when the rake's coming out at like 14 bigs, is any game really beatable for 14 bigs? Especially when it's 50-0 and there's a mostly like semi-competent regulars playing. I don't know that it's beatable. I just don't know, frankly. I just don't know. Here's my other stats. This is a mix of Russian cash and reg tables. Did okay in that game. This is what I've done since coming off GG. This one here. Oh no, it can't be. This is normal. 6 max. This is Russian cash. But we did bad in Russian cash and all in adjusted. We should have lost 165 because I cashed out. We only lost $5. But my all in adjusted should have been 169, etc. All in adjusted big blinds 102.65, which is probably okay for that game. Maybe a bit on the low side, who knows. Then we played a little bit of pot limit Omaha, which I don't think's shown in that graph. But we did play a bit. But you know you're tilting when the PLO's coming out. And we did really well in the PLO, even though we did lose quite a bit by cashing out. And then this is one session of 25 on Russian cash where we lost. I think there was like one hand in there. Can we pull it up and review it? It triggered me. It will be the last hand. This one here. So let's pull this one up in the replayer. Because why not? Oh, this wasn't the one. It was a king 10 of diamonds. Don't know where it's at. Don't know. Anyways, never mind. We've done an hour. I've started fucking wibbling along. I'm going to be back doing videos more frequently again next week. All my busy periods out of the way. There's nothing wrong with medically. Well, there's things wrong with me medically because I'm a fat old man who wasn't taking care of himself. But the medical stuff's nothing to worry about. The physio's nothing to worry about. Next week, we're right back to normal until the college summer holidays, where I then begin to work, I think probably just full time with my mate. It's 5 days a week. So it's going to be harder for me to make videos, but I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. Anyways, I'm out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Take care, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye for now.